Four finals. And it just goes on and on. For the past 8 years, I don't think one of their games has been decided by less than 2 touchdowns. It's been a great game between these two teams.
And we're going to see some interesting talents tonight. Kevin Foley, the brother of Glenn Foley, who is now the starting quarterback at Boston College. Kevin Foley, one heck of a passer in South Jersey.
And Sean, we talked to Bo Wood before the game, and folks, he says that Kevin Foley, at this point in his career, is better than his brother Glenn, who's playing for Boston College. The first 2 games for Kevin Foley, all he's done, he's passed 33 times, thrown it 45 times, completed 33 for 450 yards and 5 touchdowns. And they like to airing it out anyway.
Of course, Coach Wood also said to us out on the field that Matt Zeberline, his starting fullback, has not played yet this year, and yet he gained 150 yards against Township last year.
And now he's going to be back. So not only does Coach Brown have to know they're going to throw the ball, now you got a guy back there, 225 pounds, who can run the ball over 100 yards in a game. You don't know what you're going to have to stop tonight against Cherry Hill East.
All right, and on the Township side, really, the Minutemen looking at a rebuilding year. So you mentioned both teams 2-0. Dave Gabauer, of course, the quarterback back from last year for Township.
You have to give Gabauer the most credit. I mean, they lost 17 players, Sean, to graduation. And, of course, you know, it's Damon Brown, Darren Riley, and the list goes on and on. But Gabauer has his team at 2-0. But one of the keys is smash mouth football that Tom Brown likes to run, and they're running it again this year. Franklin Wimberly, one of their halfbacks, has rushed for over 100 yards in both games, and they've won both games.
And talking about the running game of Township, let's take a look at a play that you're going to highlight on the Township side this evening.
All right, Sean, this is the 89 load option, and you're going to see this a lot, Coach Brown says. What they do, this play is, it's keyed on the wingback, Sean. The wingback goes in motion. Now, here is where Dave Gabauer will fake the handoff to the halfback. The halfback will come down on the end, and what Gabauer will do will run the option play, but with the wingback, who will be seen, or he will pitch the ball out to Lobreski, and we don't see the option run that much with the wingback getting the ball, and this is something Coach Brown says they're going to have to run a lot today because they want to control the game on the ground, and that's the only way you're going to stop Cherry Hill East.
And, of course, a classic matchup. We're going to be in one top 10 poll, and we've got the running ground control game of the Minutemen ranked 5th in the same poll in South Jersey.
Well, it's going to see whose game plan is going to work. Either Tom Brown's going to run the ball, eat up the clock, and not let Cherry Hill get their hands on it, or the air attack of Cherry Hill in just a couple minutes.
Let's get ready for the start of today's game. Coming up, Washington Township and Cherry Hill East.
Maxwell, quick throw, good catch made. Tribbett fields it from the Clayton 45.
There's the counter, crisscross again to Scavetta. Riley gives it, and Scavetta's gone. He's down to the 30, down to the 20. Goodbye.
Aaron looking for Duravis in the corner of the end zone, lobs it up. What a catch by Duravis in the end zone for a touchdown. Breaks the tackle, skates him down, first down and more. He's got going all the way.
Still has the ball, turns the outside, he's up, he's going to get ahead of him. Aaron back to throw, runs it upfield, trying to get to the sideline. He stays on his feet. The sideline, he's still on his feet.
Let Royal Dodge help you turn auto buying right side up. We're the newest and fastest growing full-service Dodge dealer in South Jersey, with a courteous sales staff always ready to assist you with your car buying needs. 10 bays of high-tech service.
What a game. Both Tim Huckle will be doing the kicking for the Minutemen.
Tell you what, Sean, outstanding crowd here for Washington Township today. Almost an overflow crowd. You know, at halftime, they're going to be having the honoring the 1970 championship team from Washington. 2-0 football team. A little surprising there.
Henry Parks, Josh Steinberg, and Matt Zeberline will be back deep for the Cougars.
Well, we'll get to see early whether or not Washington Township can shut down this talented passing attack of Cherry Hill East. Number 23, Henry Parks.
Steinberg and Zeberline, of course, will be in the starting backfield for the Cougars. We're underway, and it's taken at the 10-yard line. He gets it out to the 25, straight up the field. And right now there's one man, 1 Minuteman, and he knocks him down inside the Washington Township 30-yard line.
Tim
Brought
Huckle
down by the
that ball and did exactly what you're supposed to do on the kickoff. You go east and west. That lane opened up. He shot the gap and went for a long run.
Rock Township crowd open up the game on the Township 26-yard line. Kevin Foley will be opening up his quarterback, the 6', 175-pound junior. And he'll be joined in the backfield, as we mentioned, by Matt Zeberline and Josh Steinberg. Steinberg takes the first carry, and he picks up maybe a yard on the play.
Big number 77 in on that tackle, showing Wyatt Wilson. And Wyatt Wilson, a Division I prospect lineman here at Washington Township. 6'5", 255 pounds, and he just beat his man that time and bull rushed him to the ground.
So we'll get another look at the Cougars here. Steinberg. Foley back to throw. He's looking. So number 86, Eric Henry. That's one of his favorite targets, Joe.
Well, I mean, it was a simple fly pattern, Sean. It was like a 5-button hook. Went down 5, just turned around. Township gave him that cushion, and he had enough for the first down. He picked up 8 yards on it after the catch. He made 3 more yards, but if Township gives you that cushion, they'll pick you apart all the way down the field.
So the ball sits on the 15. A first down for the Cougars. Again, Steinberg, single setback. Foley with 2 wide receivers split to the right. And he hands it off to Steinberg, and he picks up a couple of yards on the carry before he's brought down on the play.
Well, again,
by John Kanicki.
The middle of that line for Washington Township, Sean, is big. Kanicki's 200 pounds. They have Damon Banks, 210, Wyatt Wilson, 255, and George Doran, 200 pounds. So you got 4 guys up there over 200 pounds. There's not much room to run, and Cherry Hill East doesn't run that much. We know they pass the ball, so running is not that forte here.
Second down and 8 for the Cougars. And again, Steinberg, the lone setback. Foley is back to throw. He's looking, good protection. It's complete. And again to Eric Henry. And Henry is down inside the 5 and may have another first down for the Cougars.
Good coverage that time, Sean, by Anthony Jordan. But the thing is, the ball was on a beeline right there to the 4-yard line, and Henry brought it in.
And Joe, the Cougars, Bo Wood, of course, the coach at Cherry Hill East, has to be happy with the protection that Foley's been receiving so far. He's had plenty of time on his two passes here.
That's the thing. We talked to a couple assistant coaches earlier, Sean. They said if you can put pressure on Foley, they may be able to rattle him a little bit. And that's what Township has to do. You give him time like that, you're not going to rattle anybody.
Ball on the 3-yard line. First and goal for the Cougars. Foley hands off to Steinberg, straight up the middle, and it's a touchdown. Steinberg just got in for the first score of the game, and we still have 9 minutes and 18 seconds left to play here in the first quarter.
Well, that time Sturban right behind the center, Sean. Jeff Hope, 6'2", 230 pounds, and Steve Silveri in the left guard opened up a nice hole on that left-hand side. He went into the end zone untouched, and Cherry Hill East has taken an early lead, thanks in part to that long kickoff return.
Foley will be holding. Eric Henry gets the kick up, and it is good inside the left upright, and Cherry Hill East jumps off to a 7-0 lead.
Well, Sean, that was a 5-play drive. It went 26 yards, but the big thing of that was the 80-yard kickoff return by Henry Parks.
And excuse me, Joe, Tom Brown, one thing he does not want to do against this team is to fall behind early. Of course, the Minutemen with more of the ground control kind of a game against the aerial attack of Cherry Hill East, and he cannot fall behind too much against a team like Cherry Hill.
Especially if you want to run the ball. If you get behind, you have to pass the ball to get back in the ballgame. Now the thing is, you're only down by a touchdown right here, but the key is Washington Township now, if they want to be successful in this ballgame, I would think, Sean, on this opening drive, if they get the ball, they have to control it, ground out at least 2 or 3 first downs to put the idea in Cherry Hill's head that, hey, we're come here to play football too tonight.
Anthony Jordan and Keith Fizzler back deep for the Minutemen. Anthony Jordan, 6'3", 185-pound sophomore.
Number 86, Eric Henry, into the Minutemen. Number 26, Anthony Jordan, and number 32, Keith Fizzler.
And again, Eric Henry will be kicking off for the Cougars. Bo Wood, 17-year coach at Cherry Hill East. And the kick is a line drive kick taken at the 15-yard line. Out to the 30 before he's brought down. That was number 44, Sal Lepresti. And Lepresti gets it out to the 32-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Minutemen. Take a moment to go through the officials' names. George Reeves is the referee. John Oakes is the umpire. Rich Longo is the linesman. The field judge is Bob Costello. The back judge is Rich Brown. And operating the clock is Eugene Kravitz. 1st and 10 for the Minutemen. Dave Gabauer, the quarterback. And he's back to throw on 1st down. And it is complete at the 40-yard line. And he is brought down at the 44-yard line. That was number 31, Nick Albedine, the 6', 210-pound senior.
How's that, Sean? You come out, play action on 1st down, and you had the man wide open cutting across that seam, and a nice block picked up an extra 5 yards down there.
So this game has really opened up with a couple of big plays. Henry Parks again on that kickoff return of almost 80 yards. And now the Minutemen get the ball on the east 44-yard line.
25-yard pickup that time by Gabauer.
And the give to the second back through. Gets to the line of scrimmage, and that's all. And that was Ed Dietz on the carry, the 5'10", 185-pound sophomore. So 2nd and 9.5 for a 1st down. Gabauer again back to throw. He's pressured and brought down. Brought down by number 85, Chris Dwyer, 6'1", 190-pound junior defensive end for the Cougars.
Well, Dwyer didn't buy the fake at all that time, Sean. He shot right through his gap. And I don't know, that might have been a little bit of a busted play, because it looked like Gabauer was looking to pitch the ball out to somebody, but there was nobody there.
He looked like he was looking to his left, and then he saw the on-rushing Chris Dwyer, tried to step inside of him, but Dwyer held on to make the play. 3rd down and 12 for the Minutemen. Gabauer, the handoff to Dietz, and he's got enough for a 1st down.
He got you on that one, Sean. What it was, Gabauer was almost like the old Statue of Liberty, went behind Dietz, and all of a sudden stuck it in his belly from behind, and Dietz went off to the races. Everybody fought at that time.
And Joe, Tom Brown's play calling, he's really changing things up. He starts out on 1st down with Gabauer attempting a pass, and now on 3rd down, an obvious passing situation, he hands off to his fullback for a 1st down. So the ball sits on the east 28-yard line.
We knew this was going to be an exciting one, Sean.
Franklin Wimberly and Anthony Jordan in the backfield. Gabauer pitches to Jordan, still on his feet before he's knocked down at the 20-yard line. A pickup of about 5 yards or more on the play.
Quick pitch that time to Jordan, Sean, and Jordan has those soft hands. We saw him in practice making some of those catches. He just caught that ball, Sean, and took off upfield, kept those feet moving. I'll tell you, he's got great moves for a sophomore.
So the Minutemen now with 2nd down and 2. And again, he's got Wimberly and Jordan in the backfield. And this time the handoff going to be close to a 1st down.
They had to get it down to the 18, Sean. We'll see where they're unpiling that pile. I think it looks like he's going to be about a half yard short, Sean, from where we're at here.
So Wimberly comes up just a little short. And they're deciding whether they want to call for a measurement. And they are bringing the chains out on the field.
Number 45, Steve Smith on the stop there. I think I'm close to a 1st down.
There you see it's short by, looks like about a foot.
Half a yard, Sean. What did I say? Well, I think here, Sean, you're in an obvious 2-down situation. It's 3rd down. You have less than a yard to go. Do you go for the 1st down here, or do you go for maybe a big play here and then come back on a 4th down and short?
Well, Tom Brown's going the opposite. You got to go for the 1st down, but again, the way he's been calling plays so far, he might throw a bomb here. Gabauer, handoff goes to number 24, Franklin Wimberly. And it looks like he's going to have enough for the first down.
Well, that time Wimberley went behind the strongest part of that Washington Township team, behind Matt Schultz and Wyatt Wilson, experienced seniors. They opened up just enough room. He needed a half a yard. He picked up 2 and he got the first down, keeps his drive going.
Ball resting on the 17-yard line of Cherry Hill East. East leading at 7-0. They scored at the 9-minute, 18-second mark of this first quarter, but Township has had a nice drive here. They're now knocking on the door, getting close to that goal line.
On the ground they're doing it. They had one pass, the rest of it's been on the ground.
Gabauer again to Jordan, who hands it back. Right up the middle, number 44, touchdown! Sal Lopresti. Lopresti coming back across, getting the handoff from Jordan, and Township is now within 1 at 7-6.
Well, they ran that counter crisscross, Sean, that Williamstown ran. The first handoff inside, Lopresti in motion. They gave it off inside. He went untouched 17 yards, and Township's right back in the game.
Tim Huckle will be attempting the point after. The snap and the kick, it's up, and it's good. 5 minutes and 12 seconds left to play here in the first quarter, and we've got a tie ball game, 7-7. This game is really living up to all the expectations so far.
Well, what did we say? Washington Township had to come out on that series, gain control, show they can run the ball. Sorry, they came out on that first play, Sean, run that slant pass pattern off the play action, gain 25. The rest of that yardage was on the ground, and they just marched it down the field. So, Sean, it's going to be what we said. East is going to pass, Township's going to run. It could come down to the last series of who's got the ball last.
And Joe, you know Tom Brown is really exhorting his coaches down on the field to tell them to contain and try to watch their lanes on this kickoff return and keep East in their own territory.
Well, you know what it was? It might have been a little overexuberance on the part of Washington Township. They come out, they're charged up, their first home game of the year, and maybe they over-pursued and gave that lane to Henry. I doubt you're going to see it this time.
Zeberline, Steinberg, and Parks again back deep for the Cougars. A shorter kick this time, taken on the 15-yard line by Zeberline. And he tries to cut wide, but this time he's brought down at the 30-yard line. Jim Kalongo, one of the Minutemen tacklers on the play. So this time East will start from their own 31-yard line. Beautiful conditions for tonight's game. Nice cool evening.
The field is in outstanding shape, as it always is here at Washington Township. First home game they've played all year down here.
Foley again with Steinberg as the lone setback. He's back to throw on first down, gets Eric Henry. Henry dances by a couple of defenders and brings it out just shy of midfield. Good move by Eric Henry.
Number 44, Sal Lopresti that time, Sean. He bought the fake by Eric Henry. He took 2 steps as if he was going to go in, and then all of a sudden he just stopped and turned it back upfield.
So the ball is going to be placed just shy of the Cherry Hill East 48-yard line.
17-yard pickup.
This time he's got 2 receivers split wide to the left. Foley back. He's got good protection. He's throwing the bomb, and it is incomplete as he was looking for number 42, Tom Servastri.
I'll tell you what, Sean, he had Servastri open too, gunning down that sideline. He beat the corner man over there, number 24 for Washington Township. And that's Franklin Wimberley. He got behind him, and the thing is, Foley had pressure on him that time up the middle by Kanicki, but he still was able to find the man sprinting down that sideline and almost hit him right in the hands.
That brings up a 2nd and 10 for the Cougars. And again, he sends Servastri wide to the left, and Eric Henry is split wide to the right. Again, Steinberg the lone setback. Foley again back to throw, plenty of time. This time he gets it out in the flat. And again, he goes for Servastri. This time picks up maybe a Perhaps a yard on the play. Well, let's see. I'm sorry. It's about 3 yards on the play. So it's going to bring up a third and a short 7.
I mean, here's a play, Sean. You know they're going to throw the ball. They haven't been running the ball at all. I would think you'd want your cornermen to play up short. Don't give the big cushion, because they only have to get 7 yards for the first down.
Big play for the Minutemen, and the draw this time to Steinberg, and the Minutemen were waiting for him. So Bo Wood tried to cross things up now in an obvious passing situation, what Tom Brown did on the Minutemen's drive previously. This time he went with a running play on an obvious passing situation.
Good job, though, by the defensive line of Washington Township. They didn't over-pursue, because that's what you want. You want your defensive line to over-pursue there. You can run that little draw play up the middle. Township stayed at home looking for that, and they were stopping, and now they're going to get the ball back here.
Sibilia and Gaybauer back deep for the Minutemen. And now we have a flag thrown. There was some movement on the line. And judging by the stomping on the top of our roof, we are just below Tom Brown and a couple of his coaches. And it is going to be against the Minutemen. And Joe, Cherry Holise, it appeared that East came out there, Joe, with the idea of trying to draw the Minutemen off sides. Now they have about 4th and a long 2.
Oh, I can't believe they're going to be punting the ball here, Sean. They got to be aware of some kind of fake. If you're on the 44-yard line, you're going to be punting the ball, unless they want to pin Township deep.
And he does kick it away. It's a good kick. Gaybauer calls for a fair catch at his own 20-yard line, where the Minutemen are going to take over. 2 minutes and 51 seconds left here in the first quarter, and we've got a tie ball game at 7 apiece. Gaybauer, of course, will stay in there being the quarterback. And we'll see if he can engineer another drive like the Minutemen just had as they stop the Cougars for the first time this quarter.
I'd be surprised, Sean, this time if Franklin Wimberly didn't get his hands on the ball. He only touched it a couple times in that opening drive. Wimberly has rushed for over 100 yards in Township's first 2 games. They're going to have to start to get him in the offense here a little bit, I think.
Gaybauer hands off to the first back through. And of course that was Anthony Jordan on the carry. And Jordan picked up a good 7 yards on the play. Actually give him 8 yards. 2nd down and 2. Gaybauer this time gives the ball at 26. Again, Anthony Jordan. And Jordan is going to be close to the first down. Brought down by number 44. That was Anthony Mitchell for the Cougars.
Gaybauer does an outstanding job of faking the ball, Sean. Man, he looks like he's keeping it. He runs it so well to that outside. Sometimes if you're not on top of the game, as if we're always on top of the game, we know what's going on. But to the average viewer out there, Sean, they really have to stay aware of what's going on.
I'll tell you, Joe, from this guy up here, those numbers are hard to read sometimes when he's faking those handoffs. Does a good job of faking the handoff to Jordan and to Wimberly. Sal Lepresti in the slot to the right, and now Lepresti goes in motion. Gaybauer fakes the handoff, pitches to Lepresti, and Lepresti with a good gainer picks up a good 7 yards on the play, maybe more.
Well, Sean, that was the play that we diagrammed for you, the 89 on-load option. Lepresti came in motion, and they ran the option play to Lepresti. So there you saw a perfect example of Joe's chalkboard. Ran to perfection, I might add.
So it's going to bring up a 2nd down and 2 for the Minutemen. Dan Lepresti in motion. This time he gives it to 24. Wimberly, who bumps into his own man and is knocked down right around midfield.
The tackle on the play, Sean's going to give credit to number 88 for Washington Township. That's Andy Scriblia. He ran Wimberly ran up the back of him. I'll tell you what, if he didn't run into him, Wimberly could have been off to the races.
Sibilia trying to do his job out front, but as you mentioned, Wimberly surprisingly finding his way through the line, showing some good speed and moves, but got caught up with one of his own men. The ball just shy of midfield. It's 1st and 10 for the Minutemen. And there's some movement. Let's see who it's going to go against this time.
Now they're going to have it against Cherry Hill East. Offside's going to be the call. They'll mark it off 5 yards.
So give the Minutemen 1st and 5 now. Exactly 1 minute left to play here in the first quarter. Sean O'Hara and Joe Fasali. Hope you're enjoying it so far. It's a good one. 7-7. Cherry Hill East against Washington Township. Gaybauer gives off this time to Franklin Wimberly, who turns around inside right tackle, and it's going to be close. He may have enough for another first down.
Again, they're running on the right side of that line, Sean, and I'd be surprised if Township varies from that very much, because you're going behind Schultz and Wyatt Wilson. Those two guys are very good. Wyatt Wilson especially good. Very highly recruited Division I prospect. He runs the 40, Sean, in 4.9 for an offensive lineman. That's not too bad.
And they are having success, as you mentioned, Joe, on that right side. 1st and 10 on the East 40-yard line. Gaybauer just gets the pitch away to Anthony Jordan, who gets close to the 45-yard line before he was brought down by number 23, Henry Parks, for the Cougars.
Good job that time by Gaybauer, Sean, to get that ball away. And you saw the hands that time by Jordan. He's got those soft hands, was able to cradle that ball and bring it into his body and pick up 5 yards.
That's going to be the end of the first quarter with the score. Cherry Hill East 7 and Washington Township 7. Joe, taking a look real quick at the top 10. Of course, we talked earlier, beginning of the show, about Cherry Hill East being ranked number 5 and Washington Township number 7. But also, of course, another schools that we cover, Edgewood, still remains in the top 10. They rank in the 10th position with the Inquirer top 10.
And they had a tough game. Edgewood coming off that loss against Camden Catholic. Camden Catholic, the number 1 team in South Jersey. And Edgewood they couldn't generate any offense, Sean, according to Bob Lee in that second half. 11 yards is all Edgewood was able to gain. You know, we had talked about the rivalry between these two schools during our pregame. Going back to 1983, well, real quick, East has won 83, 84, 86, and 87, and 88. Township won it in 85, and then they won it again in 87 in the semis, and then they won it in 89. Last year up 28-0 at half, and they had to hold on to win it 28-21.
All right, so we've got 2nd and 5 for the Cougars. Excuse me, for the Minutemen. Check that. And he gives off to Wimberly, who dances his way through the line for a decent gain on the play. Picks up a few yards before he's brought down by number 60, Steve Selverian.
What they did that time, Sean, they ran that option play as if they were going to be running it as Lepresti came in motion, but that time Gaybauer handed it off to the running back inside, who usually goes up and blocks, and they kept the play flowing this way. But Cherry Hill East was able to stop that down for just a minimal gain.
1 yard, 3rd down, 4 yards to go.
Jordan and Wimberly, the setbacks. Gaybauer back to throw, and he's looking for Wimberly. It's complete. Wimberly tiptoeing down the sidelines before he's finally knocked out of bounds by Henry Parks. But there's a flag on the play.
There's a clip, Sean. Number 44, Lepresti came back and clipped the man that he was blocking that time. And I think they're going to bring that whole play back. The clip occurred around the 30-yard line. That's where the flag is.
And it is that, a clip against the Minutemen.
And that's going to negate that pickup that time. A good-looking play by Washington Township at Gaybauer. We'll get into the field for the call.
Yeah, the clip here on wind.
So the Minutemen now facing a third and just under 16 yards to go for a first down. Gebauer fakes the hand up. Lepresti's back to throw, looking across the middle. It's complete to number 88 as tight end Andy Sibilia. But he's going to be short of the first down.
He picked up 13 yards that time. Sean, he had the ball. He was maybe a yard short of the first down. When he went to turn it upfield, he ran backwards, and he lost 3 yards. And that's why it's going to bring up a 4th down and 4 instead of what could have been a 4th down and 1.
So the ball sits on the Cougar 36-yard line. As you mentioned, 4th down. And it looks like just about 6 yards to go for a first down. This will be an interesting call here, Joe.
Well, Gebauer's out of the game, Sean, so I believe they're going to be punting it. Matt Schultz, we saw him in practice. He was really kicking some nice-looking punts before practice.
Schultz back to punt. None of the Cougars back deep. And now quickly they drop 2 players back. And a nice high spiraling punt by Schultz. Fair catch call by the Cougars at the 10-yard line.
Oh, little questionable call there, Sean. He fair caught that ball on the 10-yard line. I would think you'd want to take a chance almost to let that ball take a chance and bounce in the end zone.
Gino Prioli downing the ball for the Cougars on their own 10. And again, I'm sure Bo Wood is talking to him right now, telling him to let the ball drop if he possibly could. So the Minutemen with good field position here against the Cougars, hoping to keep them down in this end of the field.
And you know, Washington Township's done what they wanted to do, Sean. They've wanted to keep this East offense off the field. They've done that with those 2 long offensive drives.
Foley back to throw on first down, a rolling pocket, and it's complete. Just a beautiful pass to number 86, his tight end, again, his favorite receiver, Eric Henry, 6'4", 200-pound junior. Joe, you have to be impressed with Foley. He looks smooth on the running pocket.
He can run it to the right, to the left. I guess that's why he's 33 of 46 for 453 yards in his first game. He already today, Sean, is 5 for 6 for 50 yards, and that one incompletion was that long fly pattern down the sideline that he just missed Cervantry on. And I tell you, he really does look good. And this kid's only a junior. Tom Brown says he's getting sick of this family. He had to put up with Glenn Foley quarterbacking against Township for 3 years. Now he's got the other Foley he's going against.
Steinberg, the lone setback. Foley again looking. And again, he looks for Henry, and it's complete. Henry trying to get to the outside before he's brought down by 2 Minutemen. 24s. Franklin Wimberly, of course, on the tackle. Ball on the 28-yard line of the Cougars. Second down and just about 4 yards to go.
Tom Brown said, Sean, he's going to try and show different looks out there to try and confuse Foley a little bit right now. And so far, it looks like Foley is anything but confused. He's just taking those little short passes that Township's giving him.
Foley back to hand it off. Almost looked like a mix-up on the handoff. There was a delay there. Perhaps it was planned, perhaps it wasn't. But in any event, Steinberg picks up about where they're placing the ball. Looks like he picked up maybe 3 yards on the play. And it's going to be a third and just about 1 yard to go. So third and 1 for the Cougars.
That's almost the obligatory handoff you have. You have to run the ball every now and then to keep that defense a little honest.
And goes to Steinberg, and he is hit in the backfield.
Matt Schultz that time, Sean. He shot in from that inside linebacking position. Untouched, nobody touched him. They were trying to run it away from Schultz, but Schultz showed his speed out there. Shot in, 2-yard loss. Big play for Washington Township defense.
4th and 3, and the Cougars are bringing in their punting team. Good clutch play by Matt Schultz.
You know, Sean, this Township defense hasn't looked too bad out there.
Gebauer back deep. One of the 2 Minutemen back waiting for the punt. And a snap that comes bouncing. Gebauer takes it at his own 40. Takes a couple steps, tries to get to midfield. He's going to be just short as he gets it out to the 47-yard line of the Minutemen. So good field position for the Minutemen on this trade-off. They pinned the Cougars back deep. Cougars picked up 1 first down, but that's where the Minutemen held them, and they take the ball just outside their 47-yard line.
Well, the defense has done the job, Sean. They've shut down, except for that opening drive where Cherry Hill went in and scored on 5 plays. They've shut them down 4 plays in punt, 5 plays in punt. So, I mean, that's what the defense wanted to do. Bend a little bit, but don't break to this forward.
Gaybauer hands off to the first back through, Anthony Jordan. And he had a collision there just at midfield.
He ran right into number 53, Mickey Geis, Sean. 6'1", 195 pounds. And you know what? Geis, I don't think, knew what was going on. He was sort of in the way, and he got ran into.
So a pickup of about 2.5 on the play. The ball sitting just inside the 50-yard line. And Andy Sibley splits wide to the left. And again, Jordan Wimberly in the backfield. This time he gives to Wimberly. And Wimberly does a nice job as he gets close to the first down.
Wimberly took that 1 step to his right, then all of a sudden a quick step to the left, and where he got the ball and went upfield, trying to guard East a little off guard, and he did. He picked up 9 yards on the play.
And a first down for the Minutemen as they move the chains. Ball resting on the 42-yard line of the Cougars.
And that clock keeps running. That's what Tom Brown wants. Keep that ground game working.
And the give gets up, going back to Lepresti. And that play has been very successful for the Minutemen so far today. A nice gainer. He picks up almost 10. As the give was first to Jordan, who handed it back to Sal Lepresti.
See what they're doing there? You're keying on over pursuit on your defense. They're pursuing on that first handoff coming inside. Then all of a sudden you got Lepresti coming in motion. They ran that play a lot last year against Paula 6, Sean, in a game we did here in a blowout. And Brian Scavetta ran for 3 touchdowns off that play. That's how Township is effective, catching that over pursuit.
Second down and just about a foot to go for a first down. Gaybauer fakes the handoff. He's looking deep. And it is incomplete, intended for Andy Siblia.
Sean, that ball was there. He had his man beat. The ball hit him in the helmet. He had his hands and went through his hands and hit him in the helmet.
Tom Servantry on the coverage. Good coverage. Sibilia tried to make a leap for the ball, as you mentioned. The ball was bouncing around and fell incomplete.
Outstanding play call there, though, Sean. 2nd and 1. Go for it all on that play. And right now, the way your ground game's working with your men upside, you can easily pick up this half a yard.
Gaybauer is going to keep it himself, and it looks like he's got enough for the first down. 5 minutes and 50 seconds left to play until halftime.
First down, 1st and 10, Washington Township.
And Joe, an interesting halftime salute will be given to the Washington Township team of 1970. They finished 11-0 that year, and they are here this evening to be saluted and honored at halftime.
Their coach, Tony DeLucas, is on hand. He's going to present each of the men with a special plaque. It's the 20th anniversary of that championship team here for the Minutemen.
So the Minutemen 1st and 10 on the East 31-yard line. Gaybauer hands it off to Jordan, who again gives it to Lepresti. And that play, they are batting 1,000 on that play, Joe. He has more than enough for another first down.
Another 14-yard pickup on the play. That time, though, Sean, they ran that play coming to the right. The first 2 times, they ran it going to the left. Fooled them, came to the right, pick up 14 more yards.
And another first down, the ball inside the East 20-yard line is a rest on the 18.
Township has 120 yards on the ground so far, Sean.
Who doesn't find a hole, tries to cut to the outside, but he's brought down that time by number 45, Steve Smith. 5'9", 155-pound senior for the Cougars.
He didn't buy the fake at all. Wimberly tried to put a couple moves on him, and Stiff just put his helmet and shoulders down and just buried him for a 1-yard gain.
So the Minutemen are now faced with a second down and about 9.5 yards to go. Ball still remains just outside the 17-yard line. Gabauer again back to throw. He's rolling left, looking for some room, and he has brought down a big loss and a big play for Cherry Hill East as Chris Dwyer, the 6-foot, 170-pound junior, is able to nail Gabauer back for a big loss.
You know, Gabauer came to the sideline that time, got the play, sort of pointing at himself saying, that was my fault. He had the pocket that time, and I think he had the protection in front of him. If he would have stayed there, he felt it was breaking down. He came back to his right, and Dwyer was right there waiting for him.
Brings up a third down.
Third down and 18 yards to go for a first down on the ball. Back to the East 26-yard line. Gabauer again looking to throw a big rush, tries a screen, but it is knocked down again by Chris Dwyer.
I'll tell you what, Sean, if they could have got that pass to Wimberly, he had in front of him some beef. Wilson's out there, 255 pounds. Then you had also out there Matt Schultz at 215, Terrence Edmonds 6'4", 250. They're 650 pounds in front of you, and only two guys from Cherry Hill East. He would have went a long ways.
And a good call by Tom Brown, Joe, because Cherry Hill East have been putting on a big rush the previous two plays, so that time he figured let him come, and we'll hit him with a screen.
You know, it was the 10th play of that drive, Sean, for Washington Township. Tom Brown told me on Thursday the best way, the best defense he has against Kevin Foley will be his offense, and that's what he wanted. They've had a 7-play drive in which they scored a touchdown. Then they had a 9-play drive which resulted in a punt, and this will be the 11th play of this drive. I mean, Cherry Hill East has only touched the ball 3 times, and they've only had the ball for 14 plays. That's how you're going to stay in a ball game.
If you were going to write a script for this game, Joe, it has really lived up to the script in its entirety. The passing game of Kevin Foley, and again, Tom Brown's Minutemen trying to keep the Cherry Hill offense off the field with time-consuming drives on the ground.
Well, I mean, right now, I think you'd have to give the upper hand to Washington Township because I think they're controlling the ball. How potent that offense is. They can score quickly. So right now, it's a 7-7 ball game. Township's controlling it, but still, it's anybody's ball game.
And we're looking with 3 minutes and 38 seconds left to play in this second quarter. There you see the score. East and Township all tied at 7 apiece. First score for East came with Steinberg running in from 3 yards out. That was at 9 minutes and 18-second mark of the first quarter. And Washington Township came back at the 5-minute mark on a 17-yard run by Sal Peace. Fourth down, the Minutemen going for it. Gabauer back to throw, being rushed from the blind side. He gets it up, and it is incomplete. Almost intercepted by East. So the Minutemen attempt to go for it. Big rush being put on by Gabauer. He almost got blindsided, but he did get the ball away.
85, Chris Dwyer was right on top of him that time, Sean. And I think, though, if Gabauer had a little bit more time, he might have been able to hit that man coming across the middle, but he didn't have the time.
So East is going to get a shot at it with 3 minutes and 31 seconds left. The ball sitting on their own 31-yard line. And we'll see how Kevin Foley is now with a drive on their own 26. Check that, Foley rolling out. He's looking downfield, and let's see if they rule that a completed pass. It is. Eric Henry, and it's going to be enough for a first down. Henry doing a good job of making sure his feet were in bounds.
12-yard completion. Good for a Cherry Hill East first down.
You know, in high school football, just like in college, Sean, you only have to get 1 foot in bounds. It was right on the sideline. Matt Schultz didn't like the call. All Henry had to do was catch it, keep 1 foot in, and it's a completed pass,
Well, Joe,
and it was.
I think the thing that they were looking at, too, is he was bobbling the ball for a little bit, so he must have gained control before he went out of bounds.
The ball at around 38.
First and 10, the ball sits now on the East 38-yard line. Foley again back to throw. He's got time, and it's complete to number 42. That's Tom Cervantry. And he's going to be close to another first down. Minutemen were putting on a rush that time, but Foley able to get the ball away. And now East wants a timeout with 3 minutes and 10 seconds left.
But we said, Sean, how potent this offense is. 2 plays. I mean, Foley has got a cannon for an arm back there. This guy's only a junior, and in 2 plays, he picked up. This is very close to a first down. I think they're going to have to come out and measure this. They haven't made a decision on whether it's a first down or not. But Foley is 8 for 9 for 78 yards on the evening.
And he is throwing nothing but darts so far out there. Working well, of course, to his favorite receiver, Eric Henry. but also looking at Servansry occasionally. And he's been doing well, hitting him on the look ends. But again, Henry has been getting Henry on the square outs as well as hitting him across the middle.
And right now, Washington Township can't find a way to stop Henry. I mean, Henry's a big target too, Sean. He stands 6'4". You got a guy that big. Then you extend his arms. You're looking at a guy 6'7", 6'8", coming across the middle to hit him with the ball.
Hey, you see the chains out on the field right now. They're going to measure.
Oh, they have to take out a piece of paper, Sean. You know it's close.
I think he just pulled out a blade of grass to see. And they're short by an inch.
It's short by a piece of paper. So if you're sitting at home with maybe your TV guide, the width of your TV guide, that's about your cable guide. That's how much he's short.
All right, second down and a TV guide to go for a first down. Joe, you got to watch here for the long one.
3 minutes, 10 seconds left in the first half.
Seems like that is the opportune time for it, Sean.
Foley comes out. This time he's got Henry split wide to the left. Steinberg, the lone setback. Foley's back, plenty of time over the middle. Incomplete, just off the hands of number 10. That was Gino Priolo.
I'll tell you what, Sean, if Priolo would have caught that ball, Anthony Jordan had those sights on that cannon ready to go, and he was going to blink number 26 all over the chest that time of Cherry Hill East.
So this time is still 3rd and an inch. And I would think that East is going to try to go for a first down here. Still plenty of time for them. 3 minutes and 5 seconds left. And again, this game is tied at 7 apiece.
3rd and inches.
I think they're going to go for another pass here, Sean.
Foley is back to pass. Going for a screen this time. Out to midfield. And he gets out of bounds at the 40-yard line. That was Chris Dwyer, his 6'1", 190-pound junior. And he gets more than enough for a first down as he gets it into Washington Township territory. It's going to be inside.
They had 3 wide receivers in there. They sent him deep on a fly pattern. Dwyer comes off the line of scrimmage as a tight end, just stood there for a couple seconds, and they dumped it off to him, and he picked up 13 yards.
Ball sitting on the Minuteman 39-yard line. 2 minutes and 58 seconds left as Chris Dwyer wisely gets out of bounds to stop the clock. Henry again split wide to the short side of the... And a blitz is being put on by the Minutemen. Foley dumps it off, and the ball falls incomplete. Foley did a great job of trying to get that ball away.
Matt Schultz that time on a linebacker blitz that time came scot-free through there, but still Foley sidearmed that ball up there. Had his man, number 32, was open, but he wasn't able to hold on to it. That's Josh Steinberg.
The ball at the 40-yard line.
So it's 2nd and 10. They only lose a few seconds on that play. 2 minutes and 52 seconds left. Tom Servansry splits wide to the right. Foley back in the pocket. He's looking over the middle, and it's complete, and there's a flag thrown.
It's going to come back, Sean. It's going to be a holding on the interior lineman for Cherry Hill. I think somebody had hold of number 60 for Washington Township, Damon Banks.
The pass was complete to Gino Priolo. So that play, that penalty, I should say, really sets the Cougars back.
But still, it looks like Washington Township playing a little bit of a zone there, right? A 2-2 zone. But Foley
Still second
in front of that zone. He tipped that ball in there.
He has the speed, and he's also had protection again. But that time, the Minutemen trying with a blitz to put some pressure on him. Paroli did a good job pulling the ball in.
That 10-yard penalty moves the ball back to the Washington Township 49-yard line.
So the ball sits on the 49-yard line of the Minutemen. 2nd and 20. 2:38 left to play until halftime. Matt Seberline this time joins Steinberg in the backfield. Foley rolling back. He's trying to set up a screen. Steinberg gets it at midfield. He gets a couple of key blocks before he's knocked out of bounds, but there's a flag on the play. And Joe, You're over here jumping up and down. I think you saw something.
Obvious holding, Sean. I think everybody in the place saw it. Jordan came up to make the tackle, and the guy had him.
Anthony Mitchell on the tackle for the Cougars, but there you see the call. Well, you can't see it at the moment.
And you know the thing is, Sean, he didn't have to make that holding call, the penalty there, because the man was by him when he brought him down.
So another penalty really moves the Cougars back now. This has been the best defense the Minutemen can throw at him for the moment.
That 15-yard penalty for the point of foul. Moves the ball back to the special 43. Second down, 27 yards to go. Second and 27.
Second and 27.
And at one point, they were at the Washington Township 38. Now they're on their own 43.
Chris Dwyer moves over to the left side, the tight end. Foley looking across the middle, and it's overthrown, intended for number 85. That was Chris Dwyer, his tight end, who was cutting across the field. One of the few passes this evening, Joe, that I've seen Kevin Foley miss his target on.
He actually missed the target. That's right. I mean, he's been close where his receivers have dropped the ball, but that time he overthrew the man. But Township got pressure on him that time and forced him to throw it a little bit early.
And Joe, this is going to be interesting now. 3rd and 27, 2 minutes and 14 seconds left. If the Minutemen hold East Hill, they'll get another shot at the ball. Foley again back to throw, looking, he's going deep. And it is complete to number 42, Tom Servastri, a touchdown. They hit the bomb, they got behind Minuteman defense.
58 yards, Sean, on the money. Hit him in the chest. That time, Washington Township defender that time came up to intercept the ball, jumped a little too soon, and he missed the ball. Cherry Hill gets a touchdown.
62 yards and a touchdown.
So just like that, the dangerous combination of Foley to Servastri as he gets behind the Minutemen defense. That ball was up there, and Joe, it almost looked like the Minutemen really didn't think this ball could get over their heads. There you see a shot of the Cherry Hill East side, as Eric Henry will attempt a point after. That kick, it's up and it's good. So East, with 2 minutes left to play here until the first half, hits for a 62-yard pass. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back right after this. Kevin Foley has been everything that we've heard about so far, Joe.
10 for 14, 149 yards, and a touchdown pass. That's a game for some high school kids, and this is only the first half.
Like Keith Fizzler, who has trouble holding on to it, he's going to down it in the end zone.
But we said Washington Township, Sean, has been controlling this ball game, and all of a sudden, we knew how potent this East offense is. It took them 8 plays, but still the big play was that 58-yard bomb to Servastri for the touchdown. That's how quick you can score when you have a quarterback just like Foley.
So the Minutemen are going to get the ball 1st and 10 on their own 20. They have 2 minutes and 5 seconds left to play until half.
You know, here, you're almost playing for no mistakes. You don't want Cherry Hill East to get the ball back. You want to get at least one first down so you can run out the clock.
Gaybauer hands off to Jordan. Wembley, who gets outside the 30-yard line. Good run by Wimberly before he's brought down by number 85, Chris Dwyer.
You know, you don't know too much about Franklin Wimberly, Sean, because last year Wimberly had to play second fiddle to Damon Brown and Darren Riley. Now those two guys have graduated, so now Wimberly can step to the forefront, and he's doing a pretty good job. He's got 42 yards on the ground on 8 carries today.
1st and 10 for the Minutemen, 45 seconds left. Gaybauer to Wimberly, tries to get Lepresti, but this time the Cougars were waiting for it. Brought down again by Chris Dwyer. And now Cherry Hill East wants a timeout with 1 minute and 33 seconds left to play.
Well, that's a good call by Washington, or by Cherry Hill, because you figure if you can stop them again, and it'll be 4th down, call timeout. You have all 3 timeouts left. Hopefully get the ball back with maybe 30 seconds left, inside 20 seconds. We know with the arm Kevin Foley had, it's not going to take very long to score a touchdown.
So 2nd down and just over 8 yards to go for a Washington Township 1st down. There's a shot of that Washington Township bench doing a real good job. Had Foley facing a 3rd and 27, I believe it was. When he uncorked the bomb, it got behind the Minuteman secondary for that touchdown.
You know, they're wearing their pride red jerseys for this ball game. And last year, Tom Brown brought that out just on special occasions. He feels this team has to earn to wear these red blood jerseys they have. And I guess he felt after the first 2 games, they've earned it to wear it for this game, a big game against Cherry Hill East.
East coming off a victory against Highland last week. They won that game 21-12. Minutemen come out again. It's Jordan and Wimberly in the backfield. This time he hands it back to Lepresti again. Lepresti gets out beyond the 1st down. So again, that counter, Joe, that's been so effective for him through most of this 1st half, gets another 1st down.
Well, Washington Township, Sean, you know, we said they've controlled this ball game on the ground. Unfortunately for them, 3 long drives, they only have 7 points to show for it. Now, in the 2nd half when they come out, they've proven they can run the ball effectively. Now they got to start getting it in the end zone now.
Gaybauer on a delay to Jordan, who tries to get outside, picks up close to 5 yards on the play before he's brought down by Gino Priolo. And now the Minutemen want to call a timeout with 1 minute and 4 seconds left to play.
That's their 2nd timeout.
And Joe, of course, the Minutemen, what they have to work with is because their drives really depend on the ground game. It's also very time consuming, especially when you have under 2 minutes to play. Ball sitting on the Washington Township 47-yard line.
You know, Tom Brown, I don't think, Sean, is too upset with the play of his team because we haven't heard too much stamping above our heads today. Now, you know, we mention that because Tom Brown is one of the few coaches that coach from on top of the press box. And he signals down the plays to his assistant coaches over the headsets.
So we have a 2nd down and just inside 5 yards to go for a 1st down. And Franklin Wimberly this time comes out of the lineup. So we'll see if the Minutemen try to go to the air here. Again, 1 minute and 4 seconds left to play. They trail this game 14-7.
You know, we were talking about Foley. He's thrown 6 touchdown passes now, counting the one he threw today. You know, last year, Sean, as a sophomore, Kevin Foley threw 17 touchdown passes.
Tell you, Joe, we also saw him on Channel 13. He's a very good baseball player, just as well as his brother was. Gaybauer back to throw. He's looking outside, and it's incomplete. It looked like he was looking for Sal Lepresti, excuse me.
And you know what,
but
Sean?
It was broken up and almost intercepted.
Sure, Sean Smith, number 45, knocked the ball down that time. If you're Smith, you should look to catch that ball. You would have had the ball around midfield, want to try and break that play up, but when you have an interception like that, I would think you'd want to try and catch it. He made no attempt at all to try and catch that ball.
So 3rd down and 5 yards. Keith Fissler this time in the backfield. A delayed give to Jordan, who goes straight up the middle. He's going to be close to a 1st down, maybe just shy, depends on where they spot the ball.
I think he's going to be about another one of those half-a-yard short calls, Sean. Yeah, and the officials are going to leave it go, so he's got to get to the 48-yard line. He's about the 48 and a half.
And the clock is at 52 seconds remaining. And now it looks like we have an official timeout on the field.
Now, I'll tell you what, it's a 4th down here. I was a little surprised that Cherry Hill wouldn't have called timeout. Now they're going to measure. Because I would think you call timeout, make it a 4th down. If they don't make the 4th down, you're going to get the ball back here. Why would you want the clock to run?
There you see it. It looks like it's short by just several inches.
Half a yard, Sean. You don't want to give me the benefit of a doubt today? Several inches, this time it's a half a yard.
All right, Joe, do you punt the ball or do you go for it here? Before they line up, before you can see. Oh, never mind. Never mind. 44 seconds left. The clock. A good high spiraling kick. Fair catch signaled. And they're going to let it bounce as it gets inside. Takes a good bounce as it gets down to the 15-yard line of Cherry Hill East. So they'll have 27 seconds left to work with. And it doesn't take 27 seconds for a Foley to one of his favorite receivers, Joe.
What do you think Cherry Hill's going to do here, Sean? Are they going to keep it on the ground to run out the clock? If they don't send 4 wide receivers out on this play, Sean, I don't think we'll ever see it. And you see Jerry Teresci, the defensive coach down in the field, Sean, he's waving his defensive lineman deep. Play deep. Send the quarterbacks deep.
And they know the range of Kevin Foley at this point. He has got a cannon. Foley this time, surprisingly enough, downs the ball, and East is going to be happy to go into the locker room at halftime as they lead this game 14-7. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to show some of the halftime salute again to the Washington Township Minutemen team of 1970, an undefeated team. They went 11-0 that year. We'll be right back.
Sports Channel America is the home of the 7-day weekend. We've got the gridiron covered with the Fighting Irish in Notre Dame and the Canadian Football League. The Icemen reign supreme with our exclusive coverage of the National Hockey League, the U.S. Olympic Showcase, High School Game of the Week, Speedway Sunday, the Pro Boxing Tour, and much more. Sizzling professional and amateur sports 365 days a year. The 7-day weekend is here, only on the Sports Channel America Network.
Hi, I'm Chris Koch of Chris Koch Hyundai. Right now, we're having our Drive for $1 Million summer clearance sale. We have hundreds of new Hyundai Excels and Sonatas. There are rebates and incentives up to $1,750 on some cars. Plus, we have an exciting pick an option program where we're offering options such as air conditioning, power steering, sunroof, or other options at no charge. Come in now to get the details on the rebates, incentives, and the new pick an option program at Chris Koch Hyundai on the Black Horse Pike in Turnersville.
Let Royal Dodge help you turn auto buying right side up. We're the newest and fastest growing full-service Dodge dealer in South Jersey, with a courteous sales staff always ready to assist you with your car buying needs. 10 bays of high-tech service, a well-stocked automated parts department, and a complete body shop on premises. Get it right at Royal Dodge, where service reigns. Route 45, Mantua Avenue, Woodbury.
If sports is your game, then plug into the Sports Outlet. We carry a wide selection of pro and college merchandise, including nostalgia items and team apparel that you can't find anywhere else. Get a charge out of our sports wardrobes and fashions featuring LA Gear and Starter. The Sports Outlet is also team headquarters for jackets and trophies. All work is done on the premises, and there is an artist on staff to help you design an electrifying uniform or award. If you're looking for sports apparel or equipment, don't get shocked anywhere else. Zap over to the Sports Outlet.
be here. Rick Haynes.
Frank Morella?
Rich Erickson is unable to be with us. Some of these people are scattered all over the place. Al Tennant. Don Rash, unable to be with us. Bill Kennedy, manager. Jim Johnson, unable to be with us. Don Burgess. Lee Warwick, unable to be with us. Jack Domzowski. Not here. Ben Miller, also not here. Gary Sitzenmeyer. Dan John's not here this evening. Mike Onesti. Okay. Kevin Easton, unable to be with us. Jeff Leonard. Right. Ron Mahasko, unable to be with us. Jim Carmo, not here this evening. Richard McClave, also not here. Mike Randazzo. Donnie Haynes was supposed to be here. Something came up at the last minute. He couldn't make it. Oh, there he is. Donnie Haynes. Sorry about that. Where's Donnie Haynes? Fran Burke unable to be with us. Robin Small. John Statler. Not with us. Bill Hartley. George Caputo, not here. Jim LeBen, not here. Eddie Batt. I'd like to call up Jack Whitmire to accept the award on behalf of Hampton. Kevin Cummins. Terry Ryan. Not here. Mark Holliday.
Should say they gave up the bomb to Cervantes.
Yeah, you know, Sean, they controlled the ball on the offensive side of things. They outgained Cherry Hill East 194 to 154. They had 156 yards on the ground. Lepeste had 60 of those yards. Wimberley 42, Jordan 34, Dietz had 20. Gaybauer was 2 for 6 passing for 38 yards.
That's Lepresti in motion. He gives the ball off to Wimberley, going through, picks up a few yards on the play, gets close to the Washington Township 25-yard line.
Here, Kevin Foley, impressive first half, Sean. 10 for 14, 149 yards, 1 touchdown pass. Steinberg only ran the ball 6 times for 5 yards. Receiving, Eric Henry, 64 yards. Tom Silvestri, 72 yards and a touchdown. 13 yards for Dwyer.
4 yards now, Harry. Second and 6.
Second down and 6. Gaybauer tries to hold on to it, and he's going to be a couple yards short of the first down, as he's knocked down by about 3 Cougars.
That was that option play they ran, Sean, the first half. But that time, Gaybauer decided to keep the ball instead of pitching it to the outside to that wingback.
Third down and just about 2 yards to go for the Minutemen. They trail 14-7. Cougars hitting on a 62-yard pass by Kevin Foley with just a few minutes to go in the second quarter. And he gives the ball off to Wimberley, who tries to get outside, but a good open field tackle made by number 42, Tom Cervantes. And he came up and did a good job on Wembley.
Yeah, Wembley tried to juke him to the outside there, and Savantry wanted nothing of that, threw him down for a 3-yard loss.
So the Minutemen are going to be facing a 4th and 6 as the ball sits just outside their own 31-yard line.
You know, I'll see if both these teams are a little cold here, Sean, coming out. We had over a half-hour halftime between the band performances and the salute to the 1970 football team.
Gino Priolo is going to be back deep, awaiting the punt. It's a nice punt. Priolo at his own 40, and he's heading to the right side, trying to find some room, but he's brought down by a whole host of Washington Township tacklers at the east 45-yard line. Township did a good job of trading field position in that first half, Joe. I really think if you just looked at that by itself, they won that battle. This time they fall a little short on this exchange as he starts off with excellent field position on their own 45.
Remember the last time they had the ball around this same field position, Sean, on the 43-yard line. Foley threw that 58-yard touchdown, Bob, to Tom Cervantry.
Zeberline and Steinberg in the I formation. Steinberg spins off a couple of tacklers, and he's brought down right around the line of scrimmage. Good aggressive play by the Minutemen. Ed Dietz, one of the tacklers in on the play for Washington Township.
But once again, that's one of the few times you'll see him run the ball all game. They only ran it 5 times, Sean, that first half, putting the ball in the air 14 times. So, I mean, you have to do that just to keep your defense honest and try and draw them in a little bit.
The ball at the 46. It's Terry Louise.
Second down and just inside 10 yards to go for a first down. Foley back to throw. A lot of time. It is complete to Henry. As in a quick look and a fumble on the play. And it looks as if Henry may have been able to recover his own fumble. Let's see.
And he did.
It is East ball.
Got the lucky bounce there, Sean. It bounced right back in his arms.
So a quick look in by Henry picks up almost 8 yards, 7 yards on the play, we'll call it. That'll bring up a 2nd and 3. Excuse me, 3rd and 3. Check that. 3rd and 3 for the East Cougars.
Brings up a 3rd down, 4 yards to go.
Again, outstanding protection that time that Foley's getting. And Cherry Hill East is going to call timeout here.
Timeout.
You know, we talked about that during the halftime, Sean, that Foley's getting just enough time to hit those receivers with their crossing power. I mean, Scott Hoke, the center, 6'2", 230. Steve Salvian, Rob Canaday, Kevin Lynch, Dean Salvatore. I mean, those guys are giving Foley just enough protection for him to find the open receiver.
And Joe, the difficulty with the Washington Township defense is they have to try to guard against Cervantry and especially Eric Henry with a lot of the look-ins, and Henry's also done a lot of square outs successfully. But Foley showed that he can really unload it and go up top.
You know, they
have to look for the deep bomb as well.
And they also threw that short screen pass too. Remember, they sent everybody deep, and Chris Dreyer came off from his tight end position, and they were able to throw the screen pass. So they have so many different options with that quarterback that Foley has. He's got that rolling pocket. Sometimes he goes to his right. We've seen him come to his left a couple times and complete the pass.
And again, Tom Brown, you know, has been working on as many variations as he could possibly show Foley. But I'll tell you, Kevin Foley has looked very smooth so far in today's game. You really have to, talking about the pass in the first half, Joe, I only recall one pass that he really missed his receiver.
Right, that one.
The other incomplete passes were really off the hands of most of his receivers.
And he just threw out of the outstretched hands that one time down by the 10-yard line on that one pass to Cervantry.
There you see a shot of this crowd. It's an excellent crowd. Several thousand here in tonight's attendance.
Oh, at first, we didn't see that many people when we first got this game started, but I'll tell you what, they're coming out for this ball game.
3rd and 3, the ball on the Township 48-yard line. Foley rolling right, looking, and he throws, and it is intercepted. Intercepted by the Minutemen. That is number 88. Andy Sibilia.
We just finished saying we haven't seen him overthrow many receivers. That time he overthrew Eric Henry. That's not an easy task in itself. He stands at 6'4" and right into the hands of the Washington Township defender.
So the first big break for the Minutemen as they get the ball on their own 33-yard line. Foley, and what we were just talking about, Joe, the rolling pocket that time, but this time overthrew his receiver.
But now Washington Township has to take this ball and do something with it, because you're not going to get that many mistakes out of Foley.
Abauer again, hands off, and now another fumble, and it's going to be East ball as the Minutemen turn it right back. Again, they tried that reverse inside, but this time the ball was fumbled on the handoff. Franklin Wimberly had the ball first, and on the exchange, and I believe, was that Lepresti on that? They tried that play again,
counter handoff,
and that's where the fumble occurred.
33-yard line. First and 10
So they had the ball for a total of 5 seconds that time. And just we said, you're not going to get that many mistakes out of Foley as far as interceptions come, and they gave it right back to him.
So East takes over 1st and 10 on the Township 34-yard line. Foley, and he hits Henry across the middle. He stays up on his feet, trying to turn the corner, and he's dragged down inside the 10-yard line of Washington Township.
Drag down the 8-yard line.
Joe, Eric Henry is not afraid to go across the middle as he's demonstrated this evening.
25-yard completion that time, and he's so smooth after he catches the ball, Sean. He caught it, made that one juke move to his right, and picked up another 10 yards.
25-yard pass completion.
They are spotting the ball on the Township. There you see it, the 8-yard line.
The ball at the Minuteman 8-yard line. First and goal at the 8.
1st and 10, 7 minutes left to play here in the third quarter. Cherry Hill East leads at 14-7. Foley back to throw from his own 7. And again, he hits the quick look in, this time to Cervancy, the 5'9", 170-pound senior. He picks up about 4 yards on the play, where the ball will be put down just around the 4-yard line.
You know, this is a part of the field where you're not going to figure to see many balls thrown, but Foley still is throwing to his wide receivers. Cervancy trying that little cut across slant, picked up 4 yards.
Zeberline and Steinberg, the two setbacks. And Foley's back to throw again. He's looking over the middle, touchdown, Cherry Hill East. Number 85, Chris Dwyer in the back of the end zone. The 6'1", 190-pound junior. And East now.
Well, that time, number 34, Matt Zeberline, did an outstanding job of faking the ball. They faked the handoff draw play to him. He got nailed by 2 Washington Township defenders. Unfortunately for Washington Township, he didn't have the ball. Foley still did, and he found Dwyer streaking across the back corner of that end zone for the easy 6.
Eric Henry again attempting the point after. The kick, it's up, and it's good. So Cherry Hill East, at 6 minutes and 17 seconds of the third quarter, goes on top by a score of 21-7. And Joe, you really have to have confidence in your passing game when you're on your own. Foley never second guessing himself, just fading back and throwing.
But the thing is, they're on the 4-yard line, so what's Dwyer do? Instead of going just to the front of the end zone and cutting down, he used that entire 10-yard zone he had in the end zone. So really, he ran almost a 12 or 13-yard pattern by going down and using the back line there. You figure Foley's dropping back 7-8 yards, so there's a 20-yard pass he's throwing. So it's giving you plenty of cushion there. You know, Foley's showing 13 for 19 now, 191 yards and 2 touchdowns.
And you look at breaks, Joe, the Washington Township Minutemen intercepting that ball, turning the fumble back over, and it was a costly turnover this time as East took it right in for the touchdown.
3 plays and they scored, just like in the first half. After that long touchdown, there was a long kickoff return that only took them 5 plays to get in the end zone. So East can score quickly, and we've said that over and over again.
So East getting ready to kick off here. Again, 6 minutes left to play in this third quarter. They're on top, 21-7.
Wimberly and Fister D.
And it bounces off the shoulder of one of the Minutemen, and they're able to recover their own fumble, but the Minutemen coming out a little sloppy here in the early going of the third quarter.
It seems like this long halftime, Sean, has affected Washington Township more than it has Cherry Hill. Cherry Hill took them a couple plays to get their motion back in gear again, but they're right back into it right now.
So the Minutemen are going to start with the ball. And of course, what Tom Brown wants to get going right now is a nice solid drive. and get the Minutemen back into this ball game without losing control.
Edmonds just getting in the ball game. He's the guy who's got to snap the ball.
Hands to the first back throw. That may have been Anthony Jordan. That was Ed Dietz on the carry. So he gets just about a yard on the play, where it'll be second and 9. Gaybauer with a big rush, tries to get a screen away out to the left, but it's dropped by Franklin Wimberly.
That time it was set up nicely. Gaybauer got the ball away in time, but Wimberly dropped the ball. Everything right now is not going Washington Township's way. They look very cold.
So the Minutemen now faced with a 3rd and 9. East, who not only scored, if they're able to keep the Minutemen down here, will also be in real good field position. And now we have a player that's shaken up a little bit by the Minutemen. That's number 55, Terrence Edmonds.
Yeah, he came running into the ball game late. Looked like he was trying to work off some kind of injury here on the sideline. And he just barely got into the last 2 plays. And now looks like he's injured. He is going to come out right now and be looked at by the training staff of Washington Township.
Edmonds, a 6'3", 225-pound senior.
Bill Reed's going into the ball game for him, Sean, number 59. And now Edmonds is 225 pounds. Reed going into the ball game 180 pounds. That's a lot of weight to lose right there.
So a big 3rd down situation for the Minutemen. 5 minutes left to play in the 3rd quarter. They trail it now by 14. Gaybauer back to throw. He's got time across the middle, and it's intercepted by Cherry Hill East.
Now, pass interference, Sean, against Cherry Hill. Washington Township's going to regain possession. The man who intercepted the ball ran right over the Township receiver.
That was Mickey Geis on the interception, the 6'1", 195-pound senior. And as you mentioned, Joe, it is pass interference against Cherry Hill East.
So big break there for Washington Township, Sean, because if East would have intercepted that ball and regained possession, that would have been real trouble for the Minutemen. I believe that's going to give them an automatic 1st down, I would think.
It is going to be a 1st down. They're going to place the ball. Let's see where they spot it now. They haven't yet put it down.
They'll mark it off from the original line of scrimmage, I believe, which would be the 18-yard line. And that's where they're going to mark it off from there.
That 15-yard penalty.
So they're putting it on the Washington Township, just shy of the 30, called the 33-yard line. First down. So a big break for the Minutemen.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to say that this is a critical drive, but it almost certainly is, Sean. 5 minutes to go here in the 3rd period. You're down 21-7. You can't afford to not come away with almost no points here and give the ball right back to Cherry Hill.
Gaybauer hands off. Now he keeps it, pitches it out to Sal Lopresti, and Lopresti is knocked down by number 85, Chris Dwyer.
See now, Sean, these gadget plays for Washington Township are not working. You have to credit Bo Wood, the coach of Cherry Hill East. They made the adjustments at halftime. They stopped that counter crisscross play inside a couple times we saw. Now they ran that pitch play, and they stopped that down for no gain. So a good job of the Cherry Hill East coaches to make the adjustments needed on defense to shut Washington Township down.
2nd and 9 for Township. This time Franklin Wimberly and Ed Dietz in the backfield. And he gives it to Wimberly. Wimberly finds some room up the middle, fumbles the ball, and it's picked up by Tom Cervansary. And he's going to go all the way for the touchdown. Incredibly, another turnover by the Minutemen, and this time it turns into an instant touchdown for Cherry Hill East.
35 yards, Cervansary went that time, Sean. He picked the ball up about the 40-yard line, we'll say. Picked it up on one bounce. Lucky again for Cherry Hill, and he was off to the races.
40 yards and touchdown for Cherry Hill East.
So just like this, Cherry Hill East has really blown this game open. There is a crowd that has really been kind of silenced right now, the Washington Township crowd. As Cervantry picks up the fumble, Franklin Wimberly's. A point after, it's up, and it is good. And Cherry Hill East, at the 4-minute and 14 mark of this third quarter, has gone on top by a score of 28-7.
Well, Tom Brown told me, Sean, earlier this week that East can score in a hurry. And I know of all things, he didn't want to see it when his ball game was, their team was in the ball game, Sean, with, what, about 3 minutes ago, I think in the second quarter, it was a 7-7 ball game. And then East came down and scored that touchdown on a 58-yard bomb by Foley to take a 14-7 lead into the halftime. And then they've come out and scored 2 quick touchdowns on fumbles. One fumble was converted on a 2-play drive by Cherry Hill for the touchdown. That fumble was picked up by Cervantry on the 40-yard line, converted immediately into a touchdown.
And you have to be impressed, Joe. Tom Cervantry really showed some speed on taking that ball in. He picked it up out of the middle of the pile, headed for the sidelines, and no one caught him.
We saw his speed earlier, Sean, in the game. He was the one who ran down that fly pattern just out of the outstretched stands for a touchdown. Then he caught that 58-yard bomb for a touchdown. If you look at these receivers, Henry is the possession receiver, the Greg Garrity of the Cherry Hill East. While Cervantry, I guess, he'd be the Fred Barnett. He's the speed receiver.
All right, East again kicking off. And a high kick. This time it's going to go to Anthony Jordan. Jordan hits at the 20, and he doesn't quite get to the 20 before he's brought down by a whole gang of Cherry Hill East tacklers.
Jordan brings the ball out to the 17-yard line. The Washington will take over.
Ball is going to be spotted just on the 18-yard line of the Minutemen. And Joe, it seems like the Minutemen have been down here inside their own 30-yard line for almost the entire third quarter.
Well, they started it out on their own 22. Then the next time they had it was on the 33. That, of course, was for just one play when they fumbled it back. Then they started on their own 16. Now they're going to start again on their own 18. And you're down 28-7. You don't want to start this deep in your own territory.
Gaybeyer hands off to Jordan straight up the field. Picks up about 5 yards on the play.
Number 85, Chris Dwyer on the stop.
3 minutes and 30 seconds and counting down here in the third quarter. Cherry Hill East has really taken control of this ball game now. They lead it 28-7. Gaybeyer hands. Now he holds on to the ball. And Joe, I believe he fumbled the ball when he attempted either to hand off or maybe he wanted to keep it. But in any event, in order to gather the ball in, he had to run a few yards back, and the East players were all over him.
So he's back now to the original line of scrimmage that time. So everything, that long halftime, Sean, did not help Washington Township at all. We can't say that enough.
Minutemen really having trouble holding on to the ball. That fumble recovered by Gaybeyer. But they have lost 2 to the East here in the third quarter. And that second one was costly. Third down and 11. Gaybeyer back to throw. He's looking out here near the sideline, and let's see if it's rolled a completed pass. And it is complete.
It's going to be real close to a first down, Sean.
And it is going to be very close, and I believe they're going to call for a measurement.
Close to a first down.
And I believe they are going to bring the chain.
I think he has just enough for that first down, Sean. He had to pick up maybe 10 or 11 yards, and I think it's going to be real close. I think we'll go out on a limb here and I think he made it.
Misses it by 2 TV guides this time, right, Joe?
Well, it's going to bring up a fourth down in a few inches. Do you have enough confidence in your offensive line to go for it here, or do you punt it away, Sean?
Well, it looks like they are going to go for it. Again, trailing 21 points deep in your own territory. But the Minutemen have to make something happen.
Fourth and a foot.
Again, Jordan And Dietz in the backfield this time for the Minutemen. Still waiting to get the chains in line, and now George Reeves, the referee, signals the go-ahead. Gabauer tries to sneak it over. It was close.
That's going to be real close, Sean.
And
They
again,
stacked him up, but they gave it to him.
So the Minutemen get a first down.
Not by much.
And 7 seconds left. There you see a shot of the Washington Township bench. It has been all Cherry Hill East in this third quarter. They have scored twice to go on top, both
The ball down 28.
after Washington Township fumbles. This time a misdirection. And it could be another fumble the way the players were diving.
Washington Township recovered.
Keith Fizzler on the carry that time.
First time he's been in the ball game there. They tried an inside handoff to Fizzler.
And it looked like John Yen recovered the ball for the Minutemen.
And still from the fumble recovery. And 3 yards on that play. Second down. 7 yards to go. The ball to Washington Township 31.
Check that. That was Matt Schultz on that fumble recovery. Gabauer, handoff again, this time to Dietz. Excuse me, Keith Fizzler. And Fizzler is going to be close to a first down. Probably be about a yard short on where they're spotting the ball right now.
Wimberley getting a little bit of a breather here, Sean, as Fizzler's in that ball game.
Number 44, Anthony Mitchell on the stop.
Winding down the final seconds of the third quarter. We're down to 40 seconds. They'll probably get one play off.
And then Washington Township, Sean, will have the win at their back for that entire fourth quarter. And you're down 21 points. You may have to start putting the ball in the air.
Gabauer fakes a handoff, tries to turn it inside. But Cherry Hill East is right there. He's going to be close to another first down. However.
That was another broken play, Sean, because for the simple reason Gabauer had a tough time getting the ball from center. Now remember, there's a new center in the ball game. Bill Reed is in there because the starting center, Terrence Edmonds, is out, what looks to be for the rest of the game, with some sort of ankle sprain to his left ankle. And the center and quarterback are not getting that snap off, and that's what broke that play down right there.
So again, they're going to bring the change out. That's going to stop the clock with 17 seconds left. And it is going to be a first down for the Minutemen.
Easy for you to say, right? I like
Ball resting on the 38-yard line of Washington Township.
We haven't mentioned this at all today, Sean. This is part of a Cherry Hill Washington Township doubleheader we're showing today on the Jones Intercable Channel 13. Immediately following this game, we're going to go into Cherry Hill West Washington Township. So we're showing a Cherry Hill Washington Township doubleheader.
Presti in motion. Gabauer fakes a handoff, tries to turn it inside, but nothing doing. Good penetration by the Cherry Hill East Cougars. That was number 40, Chris Griffin, who got in the backfield and tripped him up. That's going to end the third quarter with the score, Cherry Hill East 28 and Washington Township 7. We'll be back with the beginning of the fourth quarter in just a moment.
Let Royal Dodge help you turn auto buying right side up. We're the newest and fastest growing full-service Dodge dealer in South Jersey. With a
intercepted by number 53, Mickey Geis.
Right in
his arms.
Right away, Sean, Washington Township gets the ball. They got the win at their back.
That's going to bring up a 3rd and 10 now for the Minutemen. Township winning their first 2 games. They defeated Camden 7-0. And they defeated Rancocas Valley 16-15. A fairly close game at the end for the Minutemen.
And that Camden game, Sean, a lot like this. A lot of mistakes by Washington Township. Or Coach Tom Brown said they could have won by a lot more than that.
Gabauer pitches this time to Jordan. He's got some room. Jordan is going to have enough for a first down, and then a flag is thrown at the end of the play.
May have been a late hit there, piling on. Personal foul against Cherry Hill.
And it is a face mask call against Cherry Hill East. So the Minutemen with a break here. A good run by Anthony Jordan. Again, Jordan, only a sophomore.
Face mask. Right. First down.
Oh, this is a real big break.
So the Minutemen get the ball on the 37-yard line of Cherry Hill East.
And I'll tell you what, there's still a lot of time to go here in this fourth quarter, down by 3 touchdowns. You have to make something here happen in a hurry, though, for Washington Township.
Gabauer hands off to Fizzler on the carry. And Fizzler picks up a few yards before he's wrestled down by number 45, Steve.
And I'm looking down there, Sean. I don't see Wimberly in the ball game at all. Number 24 now. He had 42 yards in the ball game, but Fizzler's in there right now.
Second down and 6 for the Minutemen. Game. They trail at 28-7. Gabauer hands to Fizzler. It goes back to Lopresti. And Lopresti again tries to cut back. And he may have enough for a first down.
Well, they tried that counter play again. That time it worked. It wasn't as successful for the big yardage it was in the first half, but it was enough here to make the first down. So once again now, Washington Township is starting to control this game on the ground, but now you're down by 3 touchdowns. Maybe it's a little bit too late.
And that clock continues to run, as it will do, on a running ground attack as the Minutemen show.
The 13th play of this drive right now.
First and 10 for the Minutemen. The ball on the 27. Gabauer hands off to Fizzler. He's hit immediately, and again a flag goes flying in the air. And we'll have to see what this call is going to be.
I think it's going to be against Washington Township, Sean. It's in that realm of a holding call.
And it's just that, holding against the Minutemen. And Joe, you're starting to see some heads hang now with the Minutemen walking back. They're starting to show some of their frustration. Cherry Hill East really took control of this game.
Onward. First and 20.
In that third quarter.
Well, it really wasn't so much taking control. It was big plays. Foley threw the interception. Washington Township couldn't convert. They fumbled it back on the very next play, and then bang, bang. Cherry Hill's in the end zone. Then Washington Township fumbles the ball on the 40-yard line after a nice run by Wimberly. Silvantry picks it up. He scampers 40 yards. Bam, another touchdown. And just that quick, it's been all Cherry Hill.
Gabauer back to throw, setting up the screen as he tries to hit Fizzler out here, and Fizzler gets up around the 32-yard line. So they needed to get to the Cherry Hill East 18-yard line. So the ball is now spotted on the 32 of Cherry Hill East. Second and 15 for the Minutemen. Gabauer tucks it inside to Jordan. But Cherry Hill East will have nothing doing as Dean Salvatore was there for the immediate tackle.
It's not working. That play worked a lot in the first half, but it's not working right now.
We've got a Washington Township player shaken up on the play, and that may be Anthony Jordan.
So it is, because he was really dragged down hard, Sean, on that play by the Cherry Hill East defenders.
And it looks like they're paying a lot of attention to his ankle or lower part of his leg there.
Well, you know how he's trying to pull himself ahead to gain that extra yard. He might have maybe a cramp in that lower leg, or maybe he pulled a calf muscle or something along those. You know, this is the 16th play of this drive. I mean, you know what this reminds me of? That Eagles drive in that Giants game where they went 8 minutes, they held the ball, but you're down by 2 touchdowns. Well, fine. You scored a touchdown, but but you scored it with only 2 minutes left to go in the ball game when you needed 2 scores to win the game.
And the Washington Township looking at 9 minutes and 6 seconds left to play in this ball game. There you see Jordan. Looks like they're going to attempt to help him up. And again, paying a lot of attention to that right, looks like the right ankle from this point, or right calf. And there you see him, he still seems to be in some pain.
Well, Sean, you'll be back here next week with Bob Bumbert, Cherry Hill West, Washington Township.
And again, you'll be seeing that game right after this game. Be looking at Cherry Hill West, East and West.
Now, I talked to Tom Brown before this ball game, and he was saying that he was hoping to be 1-1 at the end of these 2 ball games. I know really Tom Brown wanted to be 2-0, but it looks like he's going to have to settle for 1-1.
Joe, looking at some upcoming games, again, you mentioned the Cherry Hill West Washington Township game, and following that we'll be televising college football, Glassboro State against Wagner, and the props are looking real good so far this season.
Well, they were 4-0, going for their school best 5-0 on Saturday against Salisbury State. Then they have a big game against Ramapo in the NJAC. Both those teams are unbeaten.
There you see Jordan being helped off, and again, it looks like well, I'm not going to guess at this point, but
we hope it's really nothing serious, Sean, because they have high hopes for this young man. Charlie Blank couldn't tell me enough about this guy during the upcoming season. 6'3", 185 pounds, sophomore.
And again, we'll be seeing the Minutemen following the Glassboro State game 1 week later as they take on Pennsauken.
That's going to be a good game. Pennsauken, Vince McNally always has a great team up there with the Indians.
Eight minutes and 42 seconds left. 3rd down and about 17 yards to go for a 1st down. Gaybauer back to throw, looking, gets one across the middle. It's complete, and the ball is coughed up, but they're going to roll it. An incomplete pass. And
now,
guess who was there to pick the ball up, Joe?
Servantry.
Tom Servantry is right.
A good call, though, Sean. He was in midair when he caught the ball and was hammered, and he brought fumbled the ball. It was jarred loose by that nice hit, but he didn't have control of it. So that's a good call by the officials.
Andy Sibilia went up for the grab. Again, not afraid to go across the middle, but as he was up in the air trying to pull the ball, as you mentioned, got hit instantly. So 4th down. Minutemen obviously going to go for this.
They have to get it down
again,
to
we got Fizzler.
17.
And Dietz in the backfield. Fakes the handoff. Gaybauer looking across the middle. This time it's intercepted. Out to the 40. And Gaybauer on the tackle as number 34 pulls that in for the Cougars. That was Matt Zeberline, the starting fullback on the offensive side. So,
I mean, it's a 17-play drive, right, Sean? Washington Township in the second half, they've punted the ball on 1 possession, fumbled the ball on the second, a fumble which was returned for a touchdown on the 3rd, and an interception to end that. Mistakes will kill you.
Ball sitting in between the 43 and 44-yard line. 1st and 10 for Cherry Hill East. And Foley gives to Steinberg, who's wrestled down at the 45 by number 74, John Konicki.
I mean, this is the 3rd time that this Cherry Hill team has touched the ball, Sean, in the second half.
Clock continues to run. It's now 7:35 left in the game.
And you know what?
Again, in case you just joined us, East sitting on a 28-7 lead.
You know, we know what kind of arm Foley has, but at this point, Sean, I think they'd almost want to keep it on the ground.
2nd and 7. Henry in motion, and Foley is back to throw. He's got plenty of time as he tries to get it to Chris Dwyer, but just as Dwyer got the ball, he was knocked down by Matt Schultz.
But that's the first time that they were actually on the receiver coming across the field tight.
So 3rd and 7 as Foley still looking over the sidelines for a play. To the huddle, and he's going to have to hurry here. 3rd and 7. Foley with a single setback. Looking across the middle and wings it. It is incomplete as it was intended for Gino Priolo, but good coverage by the Minutemen.
That's right, very good coverage by Washington Township that time. And I think Foley now is trying to force the ball in there a little bit, Sean. You know, he's 14 for 21. That's his 7th incomplete pass on the afternoon. Still, though, 14 completions amassed, 191 yards and 2 touchdowns. Can't ask very much more than that from your starting QB, that's for sure.
So Cherry Hill East in a punting situation, at least it would appear that way. Gaybauer is going to go back. He sits on his own just inside his 20-yard line to receive the punt. Eric Henry back to punt for the Cougars. It's a good snap, a big rush put on by the Minutemen, but he gets it away. A low kick. Gaybauer takes it at his 32, stays on his feet as he gets it just over the 51 seconds left. The Minutemen, down by 21, are going to have to hurry to make things happen here. Gaybauer's going all the way, of course, as quarterback for the Minutemen.
Well, he got his first taste at the quarterback last year. Remember when Steve Miswich went down with that knee injury, and he played the second half of the season for Washington Township at quarterback.
Ball sits on the 41-yard line. And again, they try the reverse to Lepresti. He picks up a few yards. Maybe 2 yards on the carry this time. And just as I mentioned, Gaybauer going all the way, they have Tim Nevin in there at quarterback now.
Well, I guess you know, you're down 21 with under 6 minutes to go. I guess you're pretty much cashed in on this ball game. No sense risking injury to your starting quarterback at this point. I mean, it's only one loss. You don't want to make it a lot worse.
Tim Nevin, 6 foot, 160-pound senior. And Nevin goes back to throw. And it's complete. Good footwork by Andy Sibilia. A good catch, and he was able to turn it upfield as he takes it to the Cherry Hill.
Number 88 for Washington Township. After he made that catch, showed some nice moves. 33-yard pickup.
So the Minutemen get the ball to the east 25-yard line, and now we have an official timeout as George Reeves, I believe, sees an equipment adjustment that has to be made by Sal Lepresti.
So I take it Gaybauer's done for the evening, Sean. 4 for 11, 54 yards and 1 interception.
Clock continues to run. 5 minutes and 12 seconds left. Nevin again back to throw, setting up the screen. Gets it out to Keith Fizzler as he gets it down to the 15-yard line. Good play. Screen was set up nicely that time by the Minutemen. Keith Fizzler, 5'10", 165-pound senior.
Next Friday night, the Minutemen host Cherry Hill West here in the stadium. Starting time at 7 p.m. Next Friday night.
Ball just outside the 16-yard line of Cherry Hill East, but the clock, a real ally of the Cougars now, with 4 minutes and 53 seconds left. Nevin tries a delay. This time it goes to number 36, Ed Dietz on the carry. And they're going to blow the play dead, although one of the Cougars has the ball.
And you know who that is, Sean? Number 42, Tom Cervantry.
And the crowd was a little confused for a moment. But one of the officials is being adamant that he blew the play dead back at the 10-yard line. But Servantry always seems to be around when there's a loose ball.
Some of the players, I think, Sean, are still a little confused as to what was going on that play.
And the Cherry Hill East coaching staff, you can't see them, but to the right of your screen, they're out on the field.
Yeah.
They're really upset about that call.
And they want a timeout, Sean.
And now Bo Wood is coming out to talk to the officials out on the field. Now we have a timeout called by Cherry Hill East with 4 minutes and 37 seconds left. And there you see the crowd to the left of your screen on the Cherry Hill East side. Bo Wood, there you see him right there. And he wants to discuss not only with his players, but with the officials.
Bo Wood in his 18th year, Sean, 103 wins, 51 losses, and 5 ties. Outstanding career for Bo Wood. Of course, Tom Brown in his 13th season coming in this year, 91, 28, and 3.
She mentioned Tom Brown in his 6th year as the Washington Township coach. He's been in coaching 13 years overall. Coached some very successful teams in Paulsboro while he was there.
And successful teams here at Washington Township. Hasn't had a losing season. Past 5 years, 8-3, 7-2, 10-1, 4-4-1, 5-3-1.
Joe, I know we talked a couple of times off camera, but most of the teams we were covering are having very successful seasons this year. Buna, of course, so far has a respectable season. Washington Township, Williamstown, and Edgewood.
Every one of our teams is a very successful season. Williamstown really seems to be coming around now that Curtis Trivet is back.
Devin hands off. On the carry, I couldn't quite make it out. Looks like Keith Fizzler. And Fizzler picks up about 1.5 yards on the play as he gets it inside the Cherry Hill East 10-yard line.
You know, our football team, Sean, I wouldn't be surprised if not at least one make the playoffs in either groups 2, 3, or 4. I wouldn't be surprised if more than one teams didn't make the playoffs. That's how good of our 4 high school football teams are this year.
Nevin hands off again. It looks like Fizzler on the carry, and he picks up a couple of more yards before he's wrestled down by a good portion of that Cherry Hill East right side of the line. And again, it was Keith Fizzler on the carry.
Have to wait till the bottom of the pile clears there, because it's tough to see these numbers against these red jerseys of the Minutemen.
3rd down and just about 5 yards to go. They can get a first down just around the 1-yard line. 3 minutes and 28 seconds left. The Minutemen trail at 28-7. Nevin again with his back split. He's looking back to throw. Again, trying for the screen. There's Fizzler looking for some room. And he gets it down to the 5-yard line. That's going to bring up a 4th down and just about 4 yards to go. Clock just under 3 minutes remaining now.
Well, if nothing else for Washington Township's morale here, I guess it would be good for them to really punch one in the end zone, because they were not outplayed by this Cherry Hill East team. If nothing else, Sean, I think they may have outplayed them when it came to the ground game. Just those mistakes in that beginning of the second half killed them.
2 critical turnovers by by the Minutemen, and East was able to turn them into touchdowns. 4th down. Nevin hands off again. Keeps the ball, tries to pass in the end zone, and it is incomplete.
Number 80 that time, Sean, for Cherry Hill, Andrew Carnell, made that play happen. He stayed at home and put good pressure on Nevin and forced him to throw that ball away.
He was looking for Nick Albedine, the 6', 210-pound senior, but Albedine did not have a chance to get to it. And the Minuteman drive ends on the Cherry Hill East 4-yard line. 2 minutes and 23 seconds left. Is all that remains between a victory for the Cherry Hill East Cougars. And Kevin Foley came in here this evening and really showed what he can do. Steinberg on the carry, and he picks up a few yards, gives him a little more room to operate.
Steinberg's the only guy who's been carrying the ball today. 9 carries for just 10 yards. But when you have a quarterback such as Kevin Foley, you don't need a running game.
And the clock now drops to under 2 minutes remaining. Second down and just about 7 yards to go for the Cougars. And it has been all Cougars here in the second half. Foley again hands to Steinberg, who danced his way nicely through the line, and it looks like he picked up a first down, and that should just about do it.
And he doubled his offensive output right there, Sean, by picking up those 10 yards.